What's up, PipSnipers here, back for another update. Let's take a look at PulseX over here. And we currently see 5 waves to the upside, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we do see that the 5th wave has come up towards the 61.8% fib. There is a possibility that we form some type of wedge over here and fake out a lot of traders. So when we actually take a look here at the volume, and we put the volume on another screen. Okay, so we'll put it on another pane. Right over here. We can actually take a look at it just like this. Okay, you see how, look at the start of your uptrend. This is the start of your uptrend, and this is, now we're already at the highs. So this is the highest recorded volume, even though we're at the high. So there is a possibility this over here is a whale sell-off. Okay, it's very suspicious that at the highs we have the most volume. So whenever you have velocity, whenever you have speed versus volume, it usually means that the price is going to come towards a halt. And there is a possibility that we come down like this and then come up one more time like that to form a third drive up towards this trend line, right? And then you come down like this. And we either come down towards the, so let's just say the smart money exited over here. And then this is just the retail investors doing all this price action if this were to occur. And then when we take a look here at the RSI, we do see that the RSI is very flat over here, even though we're making a higher high on the price. So although we're advancing in the price, the RSI is remaining flat. Now there is a possibility that if we come down over here towards any of these fibs over here, like this comes down a bit, the RSI, and then we come up one more time and form what's called triple negative divergence. It would look something like this. And then over here, everyone would think that it's going to continue to go higher, but then we just come back down to the floor of the RSI on the 12-hour. Okay, just a possibility. And we also did hit the 38.2% fib right over here. Okay, you see how we came up to the 38.2. Possible we come down here, come up towards the 50, and then see the drive down. This also is a broadening bottom pattern. Okay, something like this. You have your 1, 2, 3, 4 with a possible wick or deviation above this wedge, and then you come down like this. And notice how every time this RSI printed above 70, we topped out. You guys see that? Look over here. So if you want to know where the support would be, it would be at the 88.6% fib measured from our bear market low, from this low over here up to this high. So as you guys can see, we have already bottomed out at the 786 over here, and we can continue to go higher. So that would be the bullish scenario. The bullish scenario would state that we continue to go higher towards the 61.8% fib, all the way up to the 78.6% fib. Right over here before we see rejection. However, right now we have the 50% fib. Sorry, we have the 38.2% fib, which we're currently rejecting off of. or facing resistance off of, and then you have the 50% for a possible deviation of this broadening bottom pattern. Okay, get above the 50, then we likely go towards the 61.8% fib towards the 786. You see how this is your baseline over here on the RSI? There's a possibility we come back to meet this floor again before driving up higher. Okay, this is what a broadening bottom pattern looks like. Okay. Let's take a look at hex. And look, it's come down, it's come up towards the 70.2% fib. So if you take a fib from this high down to this low, you see how it came up towards the 702. There is a possibility it comes down a bit like this, right? Comes up towards the 786 and then has a flush down like that. And then if we take a look at the RSI on the 4-hour time frame, you guys see how we're making a higher high on the price. But sorry, we'll take a look at the 12-hour. So we're as oversold, we're as overbought over here as we were over here. And you can see anytime the RSI has come above 70, same thing as PulseX, right? We've topped out every time. So, or you could say it signals max volatility, right? You don't want to be in the market when there's max volatility. Let's take a look at this on the hourly, and we do see 5 waves up here. Okay, like I said with PulseX, there's a possibility we form some type of wedge, right? Come down a bit like this, and then continue on higher for one more push up there before having that waterfall move down. And this would be a wave 1, right? Likely come down for a wave 2 towards any of these fibs. So to find these fib supports, I just took a fib from this low over here up to this high. If it tops out at the 786, you can take it up here. So this is where I place the trend line from the low to the high. And these over here would be your fib supports. I'll put it in green so you guys can see. Okay, so we have topped out at the 702, and historically when cryptos have a retracement towards the 702, you likely see a push back down towards support before market makers load up again just to drive the price back up to range highs. Okay, we can also take a look at the MACD as well, and you can see how overbought we are. Right, we can take a look here at the 12-hour, and we already have the cross. You guys see this? Let's take a look at hex. Sorry, eHEX, I should say. Just so you guys can tell the difference. And same thing. 5 waves up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have your 5th wave. And then the RSI is printing bearish divergence. You guys see that? Higher high on the price, lower high on the RSI. Possibility we come down to fill some inefficiency at any of the fibs before higher. Okay, it's likely we'd come down towards the 60. The most likely scenario would be we come down towards the 618, all the way down towards the 786. Okay, that's at 0.00118 and 0.00149. So within this region, right here. So this is probably a wave 1 of your A wave, right? Of your macro A wave to the upside. And then you come down for a wave 2. And knowing how crypto operates, the wave 2 likes to come down to extremes to scare everyone, shake everyone out, flush out all the excitement in the market before continuing higher. Okay. We can also take a look at incentive. Same thing with incentive. 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth wave came up towards the 88.6. We have a volume blow off top, and then we see a decline right after, like that. And then when we take a look at the RSI, we do see negative divergence, higher high over here, but a lower high on the RSI, and it would likely come down towards the 61.8% fib support. Okay, and like I said, it can do something like I showed you guys with PulseX. It either breaks down below this wedge, or it comes like this, has one more drive up there, and then we come down. Okay, and we actually have a very similar structure. However, this looks like a right angle broadening wedge pattern. So it's likely we could see a partial decline and then continuation higher, or something a little bit further down before we continue higher from there. Okay, and like you can see over here, every time we went above 70 on the RSI, we topped out. Just pointing a possibility like this out there, where we just come down. And this is likely not a sell-off isolated to that of just this ecosystem, right? It's going to come down with Bitcoin and the rest of the altcoin market. In fact, I think Solana and ETH still have more downside to go. And before we take a look at ETH over here, let's take a look at PulseChain. So PulseChain, same thing. This is actually a little bit different over here. Let me see here. We do see 5 waves here, right? Came right up to the 100% fib. Then if you take a look at the RSI on the 12-hour, we're into overbought territory while printing negative divergence. Okay, and you can see every time we've went above 70, we topped out over here. Right? We even made a higher high over here and formed negative divergence. So there is a possibility we come down for a little bit of a wave 2. And to find that wave 2, you can just take a fib from the very low up to our expected top. we can take a look at the MACD, and you see how the MACD is crossing down on the 12-hour. That's not a good sign. Okay, and remember, it can have one more drive up there, but it'll likely be a fake out. We also have the price advancing on declining volume over here. Just something to be mindful of. You see how the price is advancing, but the volume is declining? Like this. So, just giving you guys a possibility of scenario like this. And we can also take a look at ETH. Okay, so there's a possibility I still think on ETH that we sweep these lows towards 2,113, towards the 702 at 2043 and the 786 at 1880. And then we come up from there. Okay, and I just found these fibs by taking a fib from this low over here up to this high. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Just be cautious because we're at the highs. Remember, there is a possibility the analysis is wrong and it can continue to go higher. However, the time to be bullish is when we're at the lows and we're printing bullish divergence. But so far, what we see on all of the coins in the ecosystem is that we have a wave 5. We're printing bearish divergence with the possibility of one more drive to the upside to form triple negative, right? And then we would come down for a retracement, likely towards extremes. And what would be considered extremes in crypto? It would be this 702 and the 786 retracement. And so far, we see the same setup on all of the Richard Heart ecosystem coins. And a big part, an integral part of the price performance of the Richard Heart ecosystem is the price performance on ETH. And so far, I see that ETH is going to go lower towards 2043 and 1880. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. Peace out and take it easy. See you in the next one.